Crooked officer, Mr. Officer, crooked officer. I wanna put your ass in the coffin, cause you the fuck with niggas like myself for too long. It's time to grab a motherfucking.
How and when did the death row opportunity come?
Shortly after we released the Convicts album. Man, the Convicts album was out maybe about going on a year, if I'm not mistaken. And we get the call and we hear about the interest in us, right? We heard that Dr. Dre was leaving Ruthless and he was getting with Harry O, right? And his team and Suge, and they was gonna form their own label, Death Row Records. And they liked the idea of the Convicts being on Death Row Records, right? So I mean, it was a lot of other inner workings going on at the time, right? But I'm just giving it to you in a general fashion. And yeah, and then the next thing you know, one day, Jay Prince hit us up and he was like, man, y'all get y'all stuff together. Y'all going to LA. We like, when we going to LA? He like, tomorrow morning, right? We young men, you know what I mean? I think I had only been in 2 states, Louisiana and Texas, maybe Mississippi, up to that point, right? And I was like, oh man, I'm finna go out here to Los Angeles, what? Meet Dr. Dre? Man, we must have got our stuff together so quick. I didn't have much stuff at the time anyway to gather. You see what I'm saying? And before you know it, boom, like that, man, we was out there. You know, I was waking up, sleep, you know, on the floor. You dig what I'm saying? At Dr. Dre's house. First time I had ever been inside a mansion. You know, with Michel'le coming down the stairs. You dig what I'm saying? D.O.C. over here. It was mind blowing. You know what I mean? Because a year leading up to that, you know, I was just recording their videos on VHS. You dig what I'm saying? Right? And then now here I'm there. So yeah, man, it was an awesome turn of events. I wish we would have been able to release that album that we was working on Death Row. Yeah, because we was working on it and it was coming together. Matter of fact, songs that you heard on the Ghetto Boys to Death Do Us Part and on the Something Serious album was songs that I was writing for the Convicts release that was supposed to come out on Death Row, like Straight Gangsterism. Dr. Dre was going to use that on the Chronic, Mr. Officer, which they wind up doing, recording a version of it, right? And in the Source magazine, Dr. Dre was being interviewed in the Source magazine, and they was talking about the Chronic. And he was like, he got to a point in the album, he said, now this is my favorite song off the album right here. And then you start hearing Mr. Officer, Mr. Officer, you know what I'm saying? And when I was telling people like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? You feel me? Listen, man, the guy was going to get the songs, but Jay Prince had thought at the time, he said, man, if Dr. Dre want these songs going to be hits. So we going to keep them, right? That's why Mr. Officer, which was a solo song of mine at first, wound up had to share it with the Ghetto Boys, and that was a single, Straight Gangsterism, right? We wound up putting Face on the radio version. That was a single, you know what I mean? So, you know, they recognized my work. And that's what I got from it. Even though we didn't release the album with Death Row, I knew my work was good. Dr. Dre was picking songs. You feel me? And got the proof. You hear what I'm saying? Right? So it then get back to Houston. Now the Ghetto Boys want these songs. You dig what I'm saying? And I knew my work was good. You know what I mean? I did. I knew my work was good at that point, you know what I'm saying? And I still had some more growing to go through. You know, I fumbled the ball a couple of times because I wasn't in the right place as an artist. You know what I mean? I wasn't making more money and more things were being available to me. And I just wasn't spending my time in the right places doing the right things. And my art had suffered for it. You know what I mean? Not so much on Still Serious, because Still Serious had a lot of good work on there. That album was really like a compromise between myself, Noo-Trybe, Virgin, and Rap-A-Lot, right? I had a whole lot of songs, and they was picking songs like, this got to be on the album. I'm like, I didn't want that to be on the album. Well, we got to work out something because this going to have to be on the album, right? So we'll let you do, you know, these, this and that, right? But you got to give us these, you know what I mean? So that's why that album didn't have the continuity of the Something Serious album. You feel me? And by the time we got to the Hard to Hit project, I was going through the label disputes with the label really heavy. You dig what I'm saying? So I was dealing with a lot of frustration, a lot of anger at the time. You know what I mean? The situation had them got into some real gangster shit. That's what led me wind up going to the penitentiary for my part in it. You dig what I'm saying? Things that got kind of ugly. So you know, so when I recorded and we released that the Hard to Hit project, you heard a lot of anger. And then I tell you another thing that they did to the album, because when I initially recorded the album that I turned in, yeah, I had a couple of songs where you can hear my anger coming out on the songs, but I had a lot of good work on there as well. But once I turned the record in, right? When I get the mastered version back, the label had them lift at least 80% of the tracks from up underneath the vocals and place other tracks, right? And then put features on that I had no idea. You feel me? And I was like, so I figured that's when I was out the door, right? So I figured they was like, well, I thought it was a sabotage job. I felt like that. I still feel like that because they like, he's not going to re-sign. You feel me? I don't like that too much. So let's make it seem like he really fell off the cliff. You dig what I'm saying? So he won't be worth anything to any other label, right? You dig what I'm saying? And then you couple that with me going to the penitentiary, right? Right after that, right? So, I mean, I only went for 4 years, right? But 4 years in music industry, a lot of time. You dig what I'm saying? Right? And like I said, I come back and it, you know, and it just took me some time. God had to work with me. You know what I mean? I had to put myself to the side and see what his will was. And when I focused on his will, you know, he blessed me with my heart's desire. And so we have finished the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what, I assume you don't want to get into it, but it sounded like it was a serious situation that ended everything at Rap-A-Lot.
It was a serious situation. You know what I mean? It was a serious situation. It was a contractual dispute. Well, my contract was about to be up. I had like Hard to Hit to deliver. I was finna be done. And I had some monies that they owed me, but they wouldn't release my monies, right? And there was no reason for them to hold my monies. The reason they were holding my money is because they wanted me to sign a new contract. When you sign this new contract, we'll release these monies that we owe you. I'm like, nah, you're gonna release my money that you owe me, and then maybe we can sit down and talk about, you know what I mean, doing another deal or something like that, right? So I say, you know what? I'm gonna let God handle it. Feel me? All these rumors, it's like a man took a box of papers, went to the tallest building in the city on a windy day, threw them out. And all these rumors and things is out there. Me, being one person, I cannot track down all those pieces of paper. Right. But if I give it to God, he can cause up a wind and gather all of them and set them on fire. So I focused on him, right? And I'm still here doing my thing. A father, a grandfather, you dig what I'm saying? Loving life, doing my thing, making amazing music for the people. It's beyond me. I want the people to get this blessing too. You dig what I'm saying? So that's why I got hella creative on the record, right? That's why I spent all the time. And shout out to my producers, man, because I know I wore them guys out. But that's why we gonna all enjoy the harvest together. You know what I mean? Because I be for real about my music. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, God had brought me through, brought me in, through, and up, out a lot. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm a warrior for him. I put it down. I make sure that he's represented in my music. You know what I mean? But let the public know, because the people be like, is this a gospel album, a Christian album? The album is just a real album. I mean, Soren, you can explain it for yourself the best way you can that they might get it. You know what I mean? But the album is just real conversation. So, you know, it's just like pulling up on me, spending time with me, you know, chopping it up with me. You're going to see what I stand for. And hopefully at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You're inspired.
Yeah, I think Finish the Job is like we were talking about at the beginning of the interview, man. There's so many great songs on it, and you have a wide range. But that's always what I've liked about you is you have so many different artistic lanes that you go down on most of your work. And I think that Finish the Job is just an extension of that. And anybody, even if they just caught you the first time on something serious or even still serious, they can see your versatility. And I think it's a testament to your skill that that's what Finish the Job still has. So,
hey, thank you. I appreciate that, son. I appreciate that. I give God the glory, man. I always say the reason I'm sharp is because he did it. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm enjoying it. I really am enjoying it. You know what I mean? I want to inspire other artists, you know what I mean, to keep pushing and show them that it's a different level to this. You know what I mean? Don't let these labels and the business of it tell you you have a time limit on your artistic creativity. You dig what I'm saying? Because they feel like, oh, it's time for the next hot thing, young hot thing to come in, right? I show them if you're a real artist, man, you can keep doing this, benefiting from it, benefiting others with it, right? And sounding amazing along the way, for real, and establishing a nice legacy. You dig what I'm saying? So when people look back on Big Mike, man, I want them to hear a constant elevation and say, this is one who got better with time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have to have you come back for part 2, Big Mike.
Yes, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's been great talking with you. So we appreciate you coming through the Unique Access, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, son. Man, y'all go get that album. Big Mike, Finish the Job. Holler at me on Instagram, OG Big Mike. Yes, sir.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
There's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.